I'll give you the number one tip that will help everybody out there. You're never going to lose money faster playing slots than playing low bets. On a dollar spin, the minimum Jackpot Handpay threshold right now is $1,200. So $1,200 before the machine locks up and you get a handpay. You need to hit something 1,200 times your bet amount of $1, and people don't realize how insanely hard that is actually to do. That's why we started making those videos. We come out, we hit multiple handpays every single trip. So, and if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Hi everyone. We have something important to share with you. Last week I was in Las Vegas and I recorded an episode of the podcast with one of our favorite channels, Jackpot Judo. Just 2 days later, we were so saddened to hear that tragedy had struck his family. Judo lost his wife Diane in a terrible car accident. Their daughter was also in the car and thankfully survived with no injuries. We're absolutely heartbroken for Eric and his family, and we want to ask for your support. During the interview, we talked about how Judo's upbringing and his experiences in the Middle East help him not to take anything for granted. And if you watch his channel, you know he's an extremely genuine and generous person. In the description of this video, there's a link to Judo's GoFundMe page. Please consider following the link and making a donation to help support Eric and his family during this tragic time. Thank you, and now we'll move on to the interview. Welcome back to the SlotsFan podcast. We're here in Las Vegas with one of our favorite channels, Jackpot Judo. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff today, mainly Judo's approach to playing slots. You know, I've personally talked to so many people that have benefited from watching your videos. I'm really excited to learn some things myself. Before we get to that, though, we're going to do a rapid-fire 20 questions interview. But before we do, man, thank you so much for coming back on the show. You did an interview with us when NJ was hosting the show.
Of course, no worries.
Cool, man. You ready for this rapid fire?
I suppose so. Nothing's off limits. My favorite color is orange. Red Bull's favorite drink.
Okay. First question is a tough one.
Okay.
What is your all-time favorite slot?
Oh, if I had to pick one, triple stars.
Okay.
So if I had to just pick one, I got a lot of favorites.
Maybe we can talk about some of your other favorites. Second question, kind of the flip side of that. What's the slot that's most likely to take all your money?
Double gold.
Snap answer.
Yeah, everybody has a nemesis out there when it comes to slot machines. So I've heard from a lot of people in the community that it just can't seem to hit or win on triple stars. And I smashed several big jackpots on triple stars. And on the flip side, I know a lot of people that do really well on double gold, and I can't. I affectionately refer to that machine as my nemesis because I can't hit the broadside of a barn on that machine. I've hit a couple small hand pays, but nothing there.
Are you going to keep trying, or are you?
I'm never out of a fight.
No surrender.
I think the last time we were here, Lucinda and I think we put $1,000 through it, and we were doing $25 spins, $50 spins, and it was a single credit denomination here in the Bellagio Highlander room. We didn't hit one line hit. I mean, not one line hit. That machine hates me. I don't know why or what I've ever done to double gold, but I love any game that has sevens in it. So, but yeah, that game just absolutely hates me. That's my nemesis.
Nice. Third question: best destination casino resort in your opinion?
Oh man, that's not a question I have to answer. There's so many I haven't even been to yet. Las Vegas, I love Ellis Island, love the MGM properties, love the Caesars properties. I just recently got back from Foxwoods, first time playing up there. Love that place. They took really good care of me. Beautiful property destination. Yamava Resort and Casino, probably the most comfortable, luxurious bed I've ever slept in. Nice. Yeah, the room is beautiful up there. They're very friendly up there. I mean, by far, this just, I don't even know how to describe it. But I mean, just climbing into that bed with the pillows they got there is just unbelievable.
That's a great endorsement. I've heard so many people speak highly of Yamaba and just the experience of going there.
I would go there to not even gamble. I would just go up there. I get a weekend away and just hang out in the room and watch Netflix or something. But Harris Cherokee Casino Resort in North Carolina, absolutely beautiful property up in the mountains. I mean, they have, bridge walkways over trout streams, run water trout streams, and that's another beautiful place destination.
This sounds like a bucket list trip that you could just go to all these destinations.
I mean, they're all full of adult video games, so I mean, I love them all.
Awesome, I love it. Next question: best casino loyalty program.
Man, you're killing me with these questions.
There can be like three best ones, I guess.
Caesars and MGM. I play mainly at those two properties. So Caesars and MGM so far.
Nice. MGM probably most common answer among people I've spoken to. On the same,
I've had my highest offer. I play about the same amount of both properties. Now I have had my highest free play offer based on my own personal play at Caesars. So I actually had my highest free play offer at Caesars.
That's really cool. Do you mind sharing what that was?
It was like 4,500, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, they had like a super bonus free play offer to come in on certain dates or something like that. So
It's cool with those because there's so many connected properties and you can take
Right.
advantage of like not only earn points, but redeem stuff all over the country. Similar topic, best trick for getting casino comps that average players might not know about.
coin in on machine. So there are definitely better games to play than others. So you're gonna get the least amount of tier credits and comps playing video poker, because that's your best overall advantage in the house for the player. Is video poker is about as close as you're gonna get when it comes to electronic gaming. So slot machines, best tip and trick, and I've done videos on this. 3 real 5-line games are fantastic. So because they extend your gameplay, the consistent line hits on your bankroll to sit there with put $100 bill in the machine. I got a dollar denom doing max bet of $5 or 5 credits a spin, and consistently getting hits, playing 5 lines on a 3 reel, and winning your $5 back, or getting 2 hits and winning double your bet back for $10 a spin. So time spent on a machine, coin in a machine, that's going to earn you your next tier level, your comps and rewards much faster than, say, going up to $1 million Dragon Link and doing $50 spins and spinning through $1,000 in 10 minutes.
Is that related to volatility, like lower volatility?
Oh, absolutely.
Longer,
Yeah,
lower
pretty real. Yeah, the 3 real 5-line is some of the lowest volatility you can get to sit there and I mean, if I can find a triple stars game, and we found them. I think we found one of Horseshoe that we played when we actually did a video on tips and tricks to earning more tier credits and rewards and free play faster. And we got a lot of great feedback from the community after watching that video. Like, oh wow, we just now finally got free rooms and stays and free play offers and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I 100% take $1,000 and you can play for forever on games like that to extend your play. You won't go through your bankroll versus jumping on a high volatility game like Mo Mummy or Huff and Puff version or something and doing $5 spins on that. You're not going to get consistent line hits. You may get some great bonuses, but you're gonna play through your bankroll much faster on those games.
Nice. We're in Las Vegas right now. What's the best lesser known Vegas place to visit? Things people might not know about, but you would suggest people check out.
Ellis Island. 100% Ellis Island. Love that place. Family owned property. Some of the best food, karaoke, best blackjacks. Yeah, Ellis Island is. I mean, it's not a secret to the locals. That's the locals' hotspot. So
Yeah, man, I can totally second that. They're so nice there, and it's such a chill.
yeah, it's a family owned smaller property, so you get treated like family. It's more of a one-on-one interaction and with everything that they do there versus coming to a big, corporate name brand MGM property or a Caesars. So you're just a player at Caesars. So I can pick up the phone and talk to somebody at Ellis. So
That's wicked. Favorite slot influencer?
oh man, you're killing me with the question.
It's like it's too hard to just choose one of the things that you do. It doesn't have to be like at excluding anybody else. Maybe just like who comes to mind as someone that you're really into right now or watching or think is doing something special that people should check out.
I'll just name some great channels. So great channels. We have a lot of new upcomers that have some new channels out, but great channels to follow and watch. Mr. Handpay, great guy. Met him in person. NJ Slot guy, fantastic guy. Been in the business a long time. Johnny Slots, new and upcomer, great guy. Emerald Jackpots, Gamble Smart, fantastic channel to watch. Those guys put out a lot of great actual technical information and smart, responsible gaming. So a fantastic channel, great guys. Is actually a slot technician. See, I hate questions like this because I'll miss somebody and then I'll go back and watch this. I'll watch this interview and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to mention these guys. Jackpot Famous and Chicky, fantastic people. Met them in person, hang out with them all the time. I mean, just absolutely lovely couple.
You're pretty much listing all of our favorite channels too.
Yeah, and these are individuals that I have personally met in person and can attest that these are the same individuals you're seeing on camera versus off camera. So I mean, these people are as real as it gets.
Nice.
And Tim, the big payback. Don't forget Tim.
Oh yeah, I was at
Mid-Val Slots.
Tim's birthday dinner last night with Randy and a bunch of other people. It was really nice. On that note, go and subscribe to all those channels if you're not already. Super worth it. Every one of those channels. And while you're at it, if you're not already subscribed to Jackpot Judo, do yourself a favor and do that. And this question, we want to hear what you guys think. Drop in the comments some channels that you're watching right now. There's so many.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like every time I turn around on YouTube, there's a new channel that's like I've never even heard of it. It's already a big channel.
Exactly, absolutely. I get that all the time. Like, hey, you need to go check out this channel or these people or this. And we have so many great smaller channels that are up and coming. Like I said, I don't want to leave anybody out. Slots on Fire, Lori. It's Gamble Girl, Emerald Jackpots. Who else am I missing? Lose something?
My channel.
You don't have a channel, sure.
Well,
Slots of Adam.
Okay, we'll drop all the links to these channels in the description of this video, and definitely go check it out and show some support, but don't miss out on all the content on all those channels. Okay, next question. Classic 3-reel machines or new video slots?
New video slots, meaning
Like anything that's not a 3-reel machine.
they're both great at what they're designed to do. So I love playing both for very different reasons. Yeah, I've demonstrated over and over again. I've spoken about it over and over again. One of the easiest ways to hit a hand pay, if that's one of your goals, is a low volatility 3-reel slot machine playing at a higher denomination. One of the easiest ways to that's hit a hand pay overall. One of the easiest ways to hit a hand pay on a smaller bet is the high volatility cartoon games, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the type of games that you have a chance of hitting a hand pay on a $2 bet, because they're such high volatility. So they're not frequent, but that's your best option if you are a small player. It's kind of hard to hit a jackpot on a 3-reel machine doing $1 a spin. I mean, you're looking for the very top symbols of the game, like triple, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So,
What if you could only play one for the rest of your life? What are you going to choose?
oh man, you're killing it. It's hypotheticals. If I can,
It's like, who's been, no one's making me choose.
yeah, triple huff stars. We'll create our own. I mean, it's just I could never just pick one. If I had to pick one game that I could only play forever, for entertainment value and the potential in the game, would probably be Cleopatra 2. That's one of my all-time favorites in high volatility because the bonus rounds with the multipliers, where it multiplies every spin, you get 10 free spins and you end up with a 10x, and then you have the chance to re-trigger and get another 10 games, and then you get up to 20x. I mean, the potential on that game is just insane. Right, like there's some crazy jackpots on that.
Okay, well, this is the same annoying question, I think, but high volatility or low volatility slots? I guess different reasons.
Yeah, again, both great for what you're trying to accomplish. So low volatility is fantastic for extending the bankroll, giving consistent line hits or kickbacks, winning money back on your spins, so you get to play longer, earn those tier credits, comps, and reward points. Great for hitting hand pay if you never hit one, just playing at a higher denomination, like a $5 denomination and up. For trying to smack those big jackpots, and if you're trying to, it just depends on where you're at in your your gambling journey. So I mean,
What kind of mood you're in, maybe.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you're trying to check, maybe you're somebody out there that hits jackpots all the time. So maybe you're trying to check a grand jackpot off your list. You got to play high volatility for that. You're not gonna hit a grand jackpot on 3-reels. There are some out there that have some progressives. So that's probably the best combination of the two. Like Bellagio has some downstairs in $5 denom that they have a progressive right now. It's like over $800,000. So they literally do $10 spins for a chance to hit an $800,000 progressive. I mean, that's kind of like the best of both worlds.
That's exciting. Okay, when it comes to like the bonus rounds, hold and win, hold and spin, or traditional free spins style bonus?
I love holding spins. Free games. I haven't had the best luck when it comes to free games.
It can be rough.
It can be rough. So holding spins, I've made the most money, hit the higher jackpot amounts on holding spins versus free games. I've had a few free game good bonus rounds on like Genghis Khan, where I got times two multiplier, or like if you watch Mr. Handpays $1 Million live stream, where you got times two on Ninja on a $500 bet. It's like $147,000 jackpot. I mean, that's crazy, but those are once in a lifetime. Well, I've seen him do it twice now, but that's Mr. Handpay. So I've done much better overall with the hold'em spins versus the free games, with the exception of games like Cleopatra. So that's the best of both worlds there, because it's free games with a multiplier every single round.
Very good. Okay. The most common question that you get asked in the comments or chat on your channel?
The most common question, the questions that we get all the time, believe it or not, and that's why we've made a couple of videos trying to keep reiterating the same thing. Questions we get all the time is referencing playing players cards, playing with or without a players card.
It's like slot mints.
Yeah, it's a slot miss, or the volume. Believe it or not, the volume button on slot machines. So like I said, this is a running joke in the slot influencer community of turning the volume up for a better chance to win. So a complete myth. It's just an inside joke between somebody started it. I don't know who's to blame for this.
I think people
Turn the volume all the way up for 8% more winnability. I don't know who's to blame for this, but it's a running inside joke. Anybody that actually knows what they're doing in the casino are educated gamblers. That and players cards makes no difference whether your card's in or out. Yes, the machine knows who you are based on your players card. That's how the handpay attendants come out and know exactly which machine to come pay you out on. So that's all it does. It's just rewards points.
Yeah.
It's like using a cashback credit card where you're earning rewards points. So you're just missing out on all that stuff for you're not using the card. It makes no difference. But we get those comments all the time. Well, I only win when my players cards not in the machine. Well, it's because you're playing with your card not in the machine. So I mean, it's
Results oriented.
those are the most common questions that we get consistently.
Okay. The next one's related to that, to what you're saying. The most common casino myth that people think is true, and maybe a different one than the ones you mentioned.
The players card is the number one that I get. Location of games on the floor. Casinos being able to manipulate remotely and turn wins on or off. I get one a lot where they think casinos turn the machines on for people like us with a YouTube channel. Like you guys always win because the casino turns the game on for you to promote the casino for free marketing and all that stuff. Like, guys, these are billion-dollar industries. They don't need a little YouTuber like Jackpot Judo to do something like that to promote a casino.
As do you always win?
Shit, no, it's gambling. Nobody always wins all the time. So it's like I said, I play in places that they have no idea who I am. So I don't tell them I'm coming. I just go in and play and film.
Yeah.
So those time of day is a big myth that we get a lot. It's when's the best time to play? What's the best day to play for the most jackpots? Doesn't matter. The best time to play and is when you want to play. I prefer playing early mornings. It's less crowded. I don't have to wait to play a game that I don't want to play. The music's usually not blasting at 6, 7 in the morning.
Nice.
So it's strictly personal preference.
Okay, next question. The most annoying slot player behavior in the casino.
Woodpeckers. So that would be your button tappers or your screen tappers. Just the way I was raised by my father, just was a common courtesy with people. I'm very aware of my surroundings, situational awareness, and having common courtesy for other players. So that it's really a pet peeve of mine when I see people just hammer fisting a piece of equipment that doesn't belong to them.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things. Don't bang on the screen. Don't bang on the button. Leave the games in good repair for the next player to sit down and play. I hate sitting down on a game. It's got a sticky button. I mean, brand new machines. Phoenix Leads just came out to Bellagio, and with them, within a couple of weeks, the buttons were all jammed up and sticky because people were just banging on it. So respect the equipment. Leave it in good shape and prepare for the next player. I'm also a big component of volume on the games. So everybody's playing with their own money, so everybody's free to do what they like to do. Personally, if I have somebody sit down right next to me, I always turn the volume down on my machine, so it's not blaring. We did have to scrap one video where we were playing here at Bellagio one morning, and I was playing high limit, doing some really high bets on a spin. And this couple sat down right next to me and started playing Wizard of Oz at full max play. You couldn't even hear me speak in the video, so I ended up just getting up and scrapping the whole video.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it's kind of a lost bankroll.
It's kind of common courtesy stuff.
Yeah, it's just a common courtesy thing. Just be respectful of other players. Common courtesy.
Okay. Next question. When you hit big, whatever that means for you, how much is going back in the machines that day, and how much you try to walk away with?
So it depends on the situation. So if I hit anything big, and for me, I say 10,000 and above, I'll take a check. Usually, most of the time I'll ask for a check. And you can split that up too. So if you hit a $50,000 handpay, you can absolutely tell them, hey, bring me 10,000 in cash and 40,000 in a check. And I'll play with the other 10,000. And what I'll usually do is I have a specific budget that I bring to play with. So say I come to Vegas for 4 days on this trip or whatever. I set aside an entertainment budget for gambling only, money that I can afford to lose, that I'm willing to risk. And then I'll play, and I hit handpays on machine. Say I'll hit a $5,000 jackpot on Dragon Lake, and I just do it as I go, kind of like set my walkaway limits in real time. So I'll hit a $5,000 handpay. I'll take 2,500 or 3,000 of it and set it aside, and the rest of it, the other 2,000 or 2,500, I'll add on top of my already gambling funds, and I'll keep playing. I had one trip here where we hit 62 hand pays in like 2.5 days. And I had to keep running back to the room because as I was separating the winnings, we're so hot. Everything we're touching is on fire. Those are the trips that you live for. Everything we touched was literally on fire. That, we just hit this. We had like 5 machines locked up, Caesar's High Limit. And I'm like, well, I'll just go put, $1,000 in Cleopatra 2. And then, 3 spins in, here's $7,000 hand pay. So, just take another 5,000 out of that in my take home stash. And by the time I got home, I don't remember what I had, but $75,000 in the gear. And I think I only brought 10,000 on that trip for the whole trip. So
They're the best when you're running caught like
yeah, I mean the total coin in, I don't know what my total coin in was because I was continuously playing. Hit jackpot, I split it in half. Half goes fun with me, and half I keep playing, which let me keep hitting more hand pays on the trip. So that's the way I'll do it. I'll just separate it, and it just depends on how much cash I have in my gambling pocket. And it's usually by feel. I'll just reach down and be like, oh, okay, I got a big stack. I don't need to take too much out of this. Let's put most of it in the take home pile. Or, oh no, it's getting kind of low. It feels like it's half the size it was an hour ago. So, I just hit a hand pay. Let's take most of it and put it in the, add it to my gambling thing and maybe only put 1,000 in my take home stash.
Wicked. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question. Tipping on big wins, yes or no? And if yes, how much?
I tip on all wins, actually. So that's another question we get quite often is tipping. We've done a couple videos on that. So standard across the board, and people that disagree with me, that's fine. The 2% of the hand pay is pretty standard. And I've seen some comments out there like, oh, no, that's, 10%. I was like, God, you did that. Yeah, we got that quite a few times. Like 10%, you hit $100,000, you're handing $10,000 away to somebody that's just bringing you the cash in a W2G form. So 2% is pretty standard, the hand pay. So
that's a great guideline, really clear.
Yeah, I tend to over tip. I usually carry, a bunch of 20s on me for tips and stuff like that. So
nice. Okay. Free play or room and food comps?
Free play. So yeah, I'd rather have free play. Yeah, free play all day. So I try to tell my host several times, like, I'm not a fancy guy. I wear like 5 random pants and t-shirts. This is me. I don't dress up in suits. I just need a bed to sleep in. I don't need these suites like this with multiple rooms and 4 bathrooms. It's just me on these trips. So I'd much rather have extra free play money to go swing for the fences on, slot machines or table games than to be sitting in this huge room for, most of the time I'm out playing. I'm here making videos for everybody to enjoy and having a good time on the floor. I don't spend a lot of time with them. So I don't need, I can't tell you the number of times we've actually went to dinner or a fancy restaurant and everything. Like so you guys on these trips, you see me playing, I come back and I order a pizza for room service, like $17. my biggest expense on these trips is the Red Bull out of the mini fridge. So yeah, I'll drink the Red Bulls and then they'll come restock it and I'll drink the Red Bulls. So it's much rather have free play to go gamble with than fancy comps and all that type of stuff.
Right on. Okay, last question. What's one lesson that you learned, maybe that you had to learn the hard way, that you could share with other people? Maybe a lesson that you wished you learned even earlier.
Discipline's the number one lesson to learn. So you're never going to go home a winner unless you master that discipline and use whatever tools you have available to you. So whether that's getting a gambling box to carry with you, I know a lot of people have success with that, and they bring a little gambling box, they hit something, they put cash in it, leave the keys at home, or partner gambling with a spouse or a friend, somebody that you can hand money to. My mother used to be great at this. My father would play baccarat and stuff back in the day, and then she would just stop by the table every so often and sweep up his winnings and go take it upstairs. So you're never going to leave a winner if you don't have discipline. So it's really sad seeing somebody hit something really big. I mean, I've even seen some guys out here hit life-changing type wins, and then an hour later they're broke because you always think, oh, this is so easy. I just hit a hand pay. Let me just keep putting money in the machine. Let me hit another hand pay. At the bare minimum, take some of those winnings and set them aside to take home with you. So you ensure that you leave. So come with a certain budget. And I had to learn this the hard way myself. This was, a lot of years of losing at the casino, and then reflecting on a 2-hour drive home, and there's nothing worse than having to either fly home all day travel like it is for me now in Vegas, or, drive home from a casino 2 to 3 hours, in a bad mood because, hindsight's 20/20. Like I was $2,300 up at one point. If I just would have stopped, I'd have had $2,300 in my pocket, but I gave it all back. And then I went to the ATM and took more money out, and now I'm down $5,000. So discipline is the number one lesson to learn. And it's not easy. It takes some strength of will and some focus. So
good slots advice and maybe good life advice too. It applies to so much stuff. I'd love to follow up on that question about the role that discipline plays in your slots play. But you talked about having spent years losing playing slots. When I look at your channel and a lot of the content that I engage with and that I hear other people tell me about your channel has to do with like slot strategy, to not lose as much or to win. And I was hoping to dive into that, and maybe to kick things off, I wanted to clarify, like when you say like how to win at slots, is it fair to say that there's no guaranteed way to win at slots?
No, there's no guaranteed anything in gambling. That's why it's called gambling. So otherwise it'd be called winning. It's kind of like fishing. So it's not catching, it's fishing. So there's no guaranteed way to win at gambling. So the odds are always going to be against you in the long run. So I mean, there are some games that you can play, blackjack, perfect strategy, and video poker, that to try to reduce the house's edge over you. But there's no guaranteed way of winning. Do I come out hit hand pays on every trip? Yes, absolutely. So but I play a certain way, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you may be winning yet. So I may be down a couple thousand before I hit a hand pay, and it may only be like a $1,200, $1,500 hand pay. So are there ways to hit hand pays? Sure, absolutely. And that's why I do the videos that I do. And I never tell anybody like, this is what you go do. I always say, this is what I do. And funnily enough, the way I learned to play the way I do was table games. I used to strictly be a table game player back in the day. I started in Puerto Rico way back in the day. And because my father was a big table game player, and I loved 3-card, Caribbean Stud, Let It Ride, and all that. And the way that I learned after multiple losses and those self-reflections, kicking yourself sessions, was the way I would play table games is I would buy in at the table, and I was strictly a low limit player back then, $200 to $300 bankroll, and I'd buy in for red chips, $5 chips. And anytime I would hit something, a bonus or a progressive playing 3-card or whatnot, and they would pay me in green chips, $25 chips, I would immediately take those green chips and put them in my pocket. And I would play until I ran out of red chips. I would not go back in my pocket and cash in for more red chips from the green chips. And when I ran out of red chips, I was done. And the first time I did that, and it's really surprising, you get up and my pocket was full of $100 black chips, $25 green chips, and I walked to the cage and cashed in. And I was like, wow. So it really makes a difference. And then I just took that and applied it to slots.
So a big part of it is like locking up some of your winnings, and not just playing out of the same barrel the entire time.
A lot of people out there have an immediate negative reaction anytime they hear something like slot tips or slot strategies. And there's a lot of fake stuff like that going around. So you really have to be careful and do your research. But real slot strategies and tips is stuff like bankroll risk management, having a goal and a game plan. If you're coming to Vegas for 4 days, one of the best examples I had was one of the judo family came out, him and his wife for Vegas, and they had like a 6-day trip, and he had everything separated in like clear envelopes. Like, here's our budget for day 1. Here's our budget for day 2. Here's $1,500 we specifically set aside to try to hit a hand pay at some point during the trip. Here's our travel allowance. Here's our food allowance. Like, they plan the whole trip out, which is extremely smart. I mean, otherwise you can get here and just go crazy with the lights and sounds and easily be broken day 1.
Yeah.
So there are definitely 100% better machines to play than others to accomplish your goals. Not all slot machines are created equal. A lot of people think that it's all the same and it's just completely random and it's random number generated, and you have the same exact chance to walk into a casino and sit down at any machine and hit a button. You're either going to win or you're not. And that's not the way it works at all. Yes, they are random, and yes, they are governed by a random number generator, but each game is designed specifically for a specific player in mind, high limit, low limit, to keep you in the chair as long as possible. So you have to have a goal. You're not after jackpots, you just want to have a good time. Definitely better machines to play. Do you want to try to hit your first hand pay? Definitely better machines to play. So you want a chance at a big progressive? There's only certain machines that you can play, and there's advantage play machines where must hit by progressives. So they are not created equally. So a little bit of education and gambling can go a long way.
If the viewers haven't seen some of the videos that you've made, you go into a lot of detail, step by step, your approach to, how to give yourself the best chance of winning, depending on what your goals are. I was hoping we could walk through some of those steps and give people a lesson right now. 2 things stood out to me. One, that you've made content designed for people with lower bankrolls, even down to like $100 or something like that. And then maybe a more medium size bankroll. Could you give us like a step-by-step walkthrough of your approach, your process from the time you walk into the casino What steps are you taking? What are you doing to try to give yourself the best chance of winning?
Again, so it depends on what your goals and what you're actually after and trying to achieve. So we got a lot of people that hit us up and they're trying to hit their next tier credit level for Caesars or MGM or whatever, and earn some free play. We have a lot of these videos came about because of comments that I would get on the channel from people say, you know, I've been gambling for 13, 20 years and I've never hit a hand pay. Okay, you're doing it wrong. So that's why we started making those videos, because it's just ludicrous to me when you know, we come out, we hit multiple hand pays every single trip. So, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's why I make those videos. You're like, this is, you know, I'm not telling anybody how to play, but this is how I play. And, you know, we've hit several hand pays off of just putting a $100 bill in the machine. So, I mean, that's low limit to me, is playing, you know, $100 bill in the machine. And I think we hit like 4 or 6 jackpots just off $100 on our last trip to Harris, Cherokee, North Carolina. You know, just starting with $100 bill in the machines, videoing from start to finish. And there's definitely ways to get it done.
Like you're saying, you talk to people that have done this for years and they've never had the results that you get much more reliably. What is it that you're doing specifically, like step by step, that is giving you a better chance with that $100 to hit a hand pay or multiple hand pay?
So I'll give you the number one tip that will help everybody out there. And it's common sense to me, but it may not be for a lot of viewers out there. You're never going to lose money faster playing slots than playing low bets. That's just period. That's the way it is. And I've noticed that over years of gambling, and people don't realize how much money that they will sink into a machine, just $100 bill after $100 bill, doing 88 cents a dollar, $1.75, and, you know, trying to hit something crazy or hand pay. You know, you have to understand, on a dollar spin, the minimum jackpot hand pay threshold right now is $1,200 for the IRS. So $1,200 before the machine locks up and you get a hand pay. You need to hit something 1,200x times your bet amount of $1, and people don't realize how insanely hard that is actually to do to get a big win. So and we see some comments be like, you know, hey, you know, I was playing this game and, you know, that you recommended on the channel, and, you know, triple stars or whatever, and we hit this hit and it was only, you know, $37. And we're like, okay, well, what denomination we were playing? What was the max bet? Oh, we were playing 25 cent denomination. The max bet was 50 cents. But like, a $37 hit on a 50-cent bet is a great hit. It's all relative. So, but that is one of the number one tips I can give everybody out there is you're not going to realize you're never going to lose money faster by just sitting there constantly playing small bets. And that's how we've hit all these hand pays with $100. Is I'll start with $100, and then we'll hit a bonus, and then we're immediately stepping up and doing some bigger bet spins. So, I mean, you don't need near 1,200x with a $5 spin, or a $10 spin.
I mean, it's a little bit counterintuitive. Like, you can understand why people would say they were irresponsible by betting a little.
It's a mental step that you have to get over. It's a scary mental step, and we've had so much good feedback on some of these videos that we've done that people have hit their first hand pay now, or they've hit several, or they've hit 10. We had one guy tell us he was like $100,000 in the last 3 months in hand pays and whatnot. And I played with next to a lady where I hit a major. I think I was playing piggy bank, and I was trying to help her out. And cause piggy bank is one of the specific games they'll tell you right in the game rules. The higher you bet on the bet multiplier, the better your overall chances and jackpot odds are, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I was playing max bet, which was like $5 all the way to the right on the bet multiplier. And she's like, I've been playing for hours and I haven't got one bonus. And I was like, you want some help? And I walked over and I showed her the game rules and all that. And she was playing, I think she was playing, it was pennies. I didn't think she was playing $1. It might have been $1 or less. And I was like, you know, if you just, you know, come up here on the bet multiplier, and she quickly got aggravated and was like, I can't afford to do, you know, $35 to spend, yada, yada. But I had literally sat there and watched her feed $100 bill after $100 bill. I lost track after 700, but I bet she was over $1,000 in that game, and saying that I can't afford to do a $5 spend. Be like, yeah, but you're $1,000 into this game doing $1.20 spins. Yeah, you've been sitting here for hours. You just told me you haven't hit a bonus. I've hit 3 since I've sat down, and I just, you know, hit a $2,400 major. So it's a mental step for a lot of people that you have to get over that. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to play on winnings, which is one of those videos that I just released on the channel, you know, 4 tips, is $100 in the machine. And I had a little bit of different mindset when I'm gambling is I'm only $100 into this game. And you have to set your own tolerance level and your own cash out level. So we're getting feedback from people on both sides. You know, hey, I won $600. That's a fantastic day. Cash out. Absolutely. It's a fantastic day. You have to look at it like that. That's a $600 a day payday. How many of us make $600 a day at our jobs out there for people working full time? That's a great payday. And so if that's, that's your tolerance level is there, and that's a great win for you. You want to cash out and take that win. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. Take that win and take the money home with you. That's the biggest thing, is take some of the money home with you that you win in the casino. People don't realize how often you actually win in a casino. You just end up giving it back. But the way I play is I look at it and I'm like, hey, I've only got $100 in this machine. I don't care if I lose $100, and I'll be playing, and I won't be on the little baby bets, 88 cents, $1, $1.76. I like to stay at the higher denominations, 5 cent, 10 cent, $1. And I put $100 in the machine, and I'll be, immediately into $5 bets, and we may get lucky and hit a bonus, and the bonus may be $500. And I'm like, fantastic. But, I'm only $100 into this machine, and that's the way I've trained myself to think, even though if I cash out, I've got $600 now. I'm like, well, I'm only risking losing $100. This is low limit. Let's do some $25 spins now. And that's how, we're hitting all these hand pays on just $100 in the machine. We're playing off of what I call house money, which is not house money. It is yours. You want it. But that's why I hit so many hand pays on these trips. Like the 4-6 that we hit in Harris Cherokee, which is a $100 bill in the machine. Is we'll hit a bonus and we'll step up to bet. So now we're doing $10 spins. So we're doing $20 spins. We're doing $25 spins. So you got to remember, you need a 1200x on a dollar spin. You don't need very much on a $25 bet to get over that $1,200 hand pay limit. So the first game I played at Harris Cherokee was Dancing Drums Tower, $100 in the machine, hit a bonus on a $5 bet, stepped it up to a $10 bet, hit another good bonus. We're like, well, let's do some $20 spins. Why not? And 2 minutes into it, we ended up with like a $4,600 hand pay off a $100 bill in the machine.
Yeah. I like that approach. I mean, I see the merit on both sides. Obviously, it's amazing to leave with money, and you're always a winner if you leave with money. But if you have your bankroll and you're going with totally comfortable to lose that amount of money, and then you do get lucky, if you're there for entertainment, like that's my favorite time to get entertainment. Is like, well, I can't afford to bet high, but like I can bet as high as I want, and worst case, I'm leaving down the amount of money that I originally intended to spend.
Absolutely. It's all about what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're just out to have a good time, and then great, and I do that all the time off camera or whatever. I'll go down and I'll be waiting to meet up with Lucy to go film some videos or something, and I'll sit down there while I'm waiting on her, and put $100 in the machine, and I'll just sit there and play around. Be like, I'll kill 20 minutes here doing dollar spins. It's for entertainment. So if that's what you're after, yeah, absolutely. But you always hear those stories all the time, But I know such and such, you hit a $15,000 grand jackpot on an 88-cent bet, and I know such and such, I hit $10,000 on a dollar bet, and we're like, that's great. But if you go ask those guys, how many jackpots have you hit since then? The answer is usually none. It's the only one they've ever hit, or maybe two.
Because how many other people are you going to ask that have never hit?
That's a hit of a lifetime, guys. Yeah. It's not a frequent thing to hit a big jackpot on a very small bet. So you're extremely lucky. It's like getting struck by lightning. Yeah. So it's not a common thing. Don't expect you're going to do that. But if you are a very low limit player, like 88-cent spins, $1 spins, and that's your comfort zone, and those are the type of games you need to play, because that's the only games you're ever going to have a chance at getting that. Just like I said, don't expect it. It's you hit something like that, consider yourself a lottery winner. That's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
And you got bragging rights for hitting 15,000 on an 88-cent bet.
I mean, getting the big multiplier win is always exciting, right? It's unlikely, and people I think underestimate how rare those kind of wins are.
It's really rare.
So to recap, the two main factors are, if you're looking for a hand pay, the lower you bet, the bigger the multiplier you're going to have to get, which is the less likely.
The smaller you bet, the harder it is going to be to accomplish.
And then to make it even worse, some games actually, like, the rules of the game are different depending on the denom and the bet size they're using, and the bigger the bet, the better.
It'll tell you that. It's the game rules itself. So there's a pro tip for you. Always sit down and read the game rules if you're unfamiliar with the game, because it'll tell you in the game rules. The higher you bet on the multiplier, it does this, or the higher you bet on the multiplier, you have better odds of dropping more to progressives, or quick stops don't do anything for you. It'll tell you right in the game rules. So always read the game rules if you're not familiar with it. So it's the best example I give you is Top Dollar. Everybody's pretty much familiar with Top Dollar. The games, you have all these prize amounts in the algorithm, but how often do you see that top prize in Top Dollar actually come out of 1,000 credits or times 2 times 2? It's once in a blue moon, because the games are heavily weighted for the lower amounts. 5 credits, 10 credits, 30 credits is usually about the average on Top Dollar. So if you were a very low limit player and you're betting $1 to get over that $1,200 threshold to get a hand pay, you need the very top symbols which are going to come out once in a blue moon. The game is more frequently going to throw out double bars or, triple bars or cherries. You're going to get a lot of cherries. You're going to get a lot of blanks. So you may need triple to be able to hit a hand pay on a $1 bet or a $2 bet. Versus if you're doing $5 denomination, you're betting $5 or $10 to spend, you may only need triple bars and you're in hand pay level. Now, if you hit the top symbols, triple, you're in a big hand pay on a $5 denomination versus playing the dollar denomination or, even less.
That's really good advice. So from watching your videos, I know that you have some strategy as far as the machines that you're choosing to play based on what game it is, but also maybe like the game state that it's in. You make the point that you're not choosing based on like feel or something like that.
No.
So I'm curious, what are the biggest factors? And I've heard you say when you get to the casino, you're kind of doing a bit of recon, you're walking the floor, you're looking at what's there. What are the steps that you're taking, and what are the factors that are important when you're choosing what game to play, how much, how much to bet, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I'm always walking the floor, scouting the floor. Always a great thing to do when you go to the casino, even if you're a regular, because they're constantly updating things and changing new things. I was just here last month and couldn't find games that I play all the time because they're downstairs and they're redoing the floor, redoing the high limit room. So always scout your casino floor. Definitely a first time visit to a casino. So things I look for is games that I'm very familiar with. Double diamonds, triple stars, games that I know how they play based on experience and how they should be playing. Top dollars, pinballs. I'm also walking around checking out games like Ainsworth with must hit by progressives. Caesar's Palace here has a very high limit Ainsworth game that I always go take a look at in their high limit room every time I'm
See where it's at.
Yeah, and so it starts at the must win by progressive starts at 90,000 and must hit by 100,000. And so I'll go see where that number is. So that's an advantage play game. The higher that number is, so if it's in the 96 range, 96,000, 97,000 range, your odds are actually getting a little bit better because it's getting closer to that must hit by progressive. And I've missed out on hitting that progressive twice within like 30 minutes. And somebody said, yeah, some lady just hit that on a $5 bet like 10 minutes ago. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And the same thing happened on a trip with my father. We were playing Mustang Money 2, and it was getting pretty up there. It was like 96,000 something. And I was playing, I think I dedicated like a $3,000 bankroll to it at that time. And we were doing some $50 spins, $100 spins. And we played it for a little bit. It did all right, cashed out. We took a break, came back like 25 minutes later. It had reset again to 90,000. So somebody must have just after we got done playing, hit it again. So one of these times the stars are going to line up. But those are things to always look for. Walk to the casino, check out those Ainsworth games. It says Ainsworth right on the top. Must win by progressives. So they can go off at any bet amount. At any time. And the way that works is, say like that high limit one, somebody will hit that must hit by. So if it gets all the way to 100,000, it has to go off, but it could go off any time between 90,000 and 100,000. It's completely random. So when somebody hits that bonus, the algorithm picks the next number and it's completely random. It could be $92,615.37. And so as you're spinning, it's adding cents, depending on the higher you bet, the more it adds onto that progressive each spin. So as you're spinning, as soon as it hits that amount, $92,615.37, boom, the machine locks up, but nobody knows what that number is. So obviously, the higher it is to 100,000, the better chance you got. And there's mathematicians out there that actually scout the floors and do this professionally, where they can kind of do the math on it and be like, okay, if we all group together and we all put in, it's roughly going to cost us, $30,000 to hit this progressive of 50,000, and we're going to make $12,000 profit. So.
Yeah. Are you into any of that kind of AP stuff?
Not on that level. So, I'll always take time to walk and scout the floors and take a look at them. And I've hit some must hit by progressives on Ainsworth where I'll sit down and play. I hit a $9,600 one at Harris Cherokee. I sat down and played and put $500 in. It was just doing $50 spins. It hit it right off the bat, like 6 spins in. It set it off, and we hit that must hit by progressive. So I'll take a look at it and see if it's something that I'll be willing to play. Probably not gonna touch it if it's sitting around 90,000, 91, 92. But if it's up there, definitely take a swing at it. Always worth sitting down, just run a little bit of money because you never know. So it's but at just about that level, not professional. I'm not going in there calculating numbers and odds and be like, I think we can get this done. Let's sit here and dedicate 10,000 to it. So
I'm curious how you got into gambling. It sounds like this is something that it's kind of a family thing. You mentioned their dad being a big table games guy. Can you give us a bit of the story about like where you started out, what maybe where you were when you were younger and learning from your dad and how that all worked out.
Yeah, so he's always been a card player, table games, and just has recently gotten into slots. Man, it's funny. He's only hit like maybe I think before he started playing with me like 2 hand pays playing slots, and then I think the last time I brought him out to Bellagio with me and showing him how to play, I think he left with like 12 hand pays on that one trip, just that one trip. He was smashing them on Huffing.
Was he having a bad time?
Oh, he's having a blast. It was every time I turn around, he'd smash them on Huffing even more puff and then Dragon Link and something else, and so. But yeah, he was always a table games player. I've watched him hit $15,000 twice on 2 different trips at a casino in Washington State playing Let It Ride, and where he got dealt a pair of queens, and then the dealer flipped over a matching pair of queens for quads, and he was betting $100 in the 3, 100 in the 3 circles, and paid $15,000. So it's all his fault. He's to blame. He's the one that's got me started and gave me the gambling bug. But we grew up as kids, playing poker with the aunts and uncles. We all had change jars, and so every time we would get together for like Thanksgiving and stuff, everybody break out their change jars, and we were play for low limit, family poker games and stuff like that. And the first casinos I ever played in was I was on a job in Puerto Rico, and that's the first casinos I ever played in was in Old San Juan.
How old were you when that was happening?
I was in my early 20s, early 20s, somewhere in there. And I remember I actually sat down next to a guy, and he hit a straight flush on Caribbean Stud, which paid 10% of the progressive jackpot. I think the progressive was like $300,000. So he got like $31,000 hand pay, and they stopped the whole game. I had to review the footage and everything. So that was kind of neat. And it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in diamonds or something is what it was. So, but that's where I started was back in Puerto Rico on the day playing, and I've played all over. Played in Dominican Republic, played in Australia, and a lot of places in the U.S. Still have a lot of places I need to check off the list. So I still got to, I played in Oklahoma, but that's before I started the channel. So I got to make it out to Oklahoma and place and do some video out in Oklahoma and Windstar and Sharpeville and all that.
Yeah, here it's wild at Windstar.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get that down here soon.
That's great. What was the job? What were you doing in Puerto Rico?
That job was a construction job. I think they were building a power plant. And then after that, got into a bunch of stuff doing government contracting. I actually worked for Fluor Government Group for a lot of years. So I've worked in 17 countries, lived and worked in 17 countries. So Fluor Government Group, like RIE, Restore Iraqi Electricity after the war. So we were the first 7 civilians in country when that war started. I actually landed in Dubai. Checked into the hotel and turned the news on and saw that the war started and the bombing had started. And then we hopped a C-130 Mil Air flight into country the next day into Iraq.
What kind of work? Are we talking like security contracting or?
Yeah, security contracting, operations. So worked for Fluor Government Group for a lot of years. Dynacorp International, worked for them in Afghanistan, operating the FOBs, forward operating bases for the military, working with 82nd Airborne and Marines and the Romanian Army. A bunch of crazy cats in the Romanian Army. Shout out to those guys. Always bring me cool stuff. Let's see. Then most recently, I worked for bankroll, which is the #1 construction procurement EPC company in the U.S., second in the world, doing all kinds of stuff like that. So I've worked in West Africa, Haiti, just about every country in the Middle East. Jordan, Kuwait. Spent a lot of time in Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, Bahrain, which was kind of cool. Got to see Blink 182 in concert live up front on the military base in Bahrain when they were over there.
No, it's a short list of people that can say that.
Yeah, they're right hands. There was not very many of us on the naval base there in Bahrain, so I was standing right up in the front row. So the guys did not enjoy that. It was like 104 degrees or something, even at night. They're out there playing on the stage.
When you mentioned that, I can only imagine all the experiences that you've had throughout that kind of professional life. But it made me think of earlier in this conversation when you talked about discipline when it comes to gambling. Do you credit, your skills when it comes to discipline with your background, your professional background? Was there a relationship there?
Most of all the credit goes to my father for everything. So, I grew up by the sharp point of my father's cowboy boots. So you just be respectful, always be on time. So, being late for anything is a sign of disrespect, common courtesy for other people. And then a lot of it came from situations that I was in overseas and having situational awareness. And with a lot of crazy stuff that we got into overseas, a lot of sketchy been shot at more times than I can count. So it's a lot of sketchy stuff that we got into. So a lot of discipline came from that. And then, of course, whole life of martial arts. So, I mean, that was always discipline instilled.
So Jackpot Judo, not just a name.
Then, yes, Jackpot Judo is a name. So, yeah. So I actually never did study judo.
Okay.
So it was
What martial arts have you studied?
Taekwondo and Shaolin Southern Kung Fu.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah, I'm actually, have not trained in judo whatsoever. So that part is just a name. That's another question I get all the time. Like, judo? Like, no.
The intro to your videos is my favorite intro. If any cool, if you like karate chopping the machine, the money out of the back of the machine.
Yeah,
I love it.
I used to, after I got black belt Taekwondo back in the day, my Sifu, my instructor in Kung Fu, used to enter me into tournaments, sparring tournaments as a beginner. So that was fun. He used to clean house going in as it technically was a beginner in Kung Fu, but he used to go in as a beginner and just clean house. That was a lot of fun.
That's cool. I studied Hapkido for a lot of years, which has a lot of Taekwondo in it as well. Well, I feel like I could ask you a lot of questions about your professional background.
You can't answer a lot of them, but you can ask them.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, what was that like? I think it's different. It's very different than what people experience, like the typical person. And I think, from my view, we see representations of that stuff in in movies and popular culture. And I'm curious, as someone that's experienced that, what was that experience like? And, what were some of the highs and lows of it? And what do you think you were able to take away from that? Because it doesn't sound like an easy experience.
No, it's not an easy experience. So like Afghanistan, I did 6 months in Afghanistan, sleeping in a tent, came home for 10 days with the family, then back for another 6 months type of stuff. I was actually in Haiti when my first child was born, my son. Hopped a plane from Haiti, got to fly home, spent 2 days in the hospital, and then turn around and get back on a plane to Haiti. Hollywood's something else. But it gives you an appreciation of how truly blessed we are and how we shouldn't take anything for granted. So that's why I'm always in a good mood. I'm always positive because I've been there. I've lived in conditions that people wouldn't believe. We had people show up to Afghanistan to work and quit after 2 days. Like, there's no hot water to shave with. Like, where did you think you were coming? We're taking showers with bottles of water out in the middle of the desert. And it gives you, it's always laughable when I see people complaining about this or that. I'm like, man, what do you have to complain about? You can pick up a phone and pizza will deliver to your house. We're eating MREs for 6 months and you're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, and we're getting shot at every sunrise and sunset. The firefights were starting in Baghdad when I was there for a year. So it truly gives you an appreciation being overseas and seeing what the quality of life that some of these people have. And I've met some of the nicest, sweetest people that had absolutely nothing, but they were generally happy and would give you the shirt off their backs. And we're over here in the U.S. worried about buying the latest brand new model car that comes out so we can bragging rights or something or look flashy like that. And it's just truly, every day's a blessing. You don't take anything for granted.
I feel like it's hard to have that attitude when you haven't
without that
experience.
Yeah, without that
experience.
It absolutely is hard. I mean, we have people in the U.S. that never even been out of their home city, born and raised in the same city their whole life and never been out of the country. And then, you get to go over there and you experience different cultures and stuff. One of the funniest times I had was in Jordan. This was during the Iraqi war and all that going on. And I was having dinner with a lovely Jordanian family in Jordan. And they were, just absolutely lovely people, very welcoming. We were all sitting to dinner and they're discussing the war, and George Bush was our president, and half of the family was for the war in Iraq and helping out Kuwait, and half the family was completely against it. And they all turned to me like, what's your opinion? I was like, I have no opinion. I have no opinion on what's going on. I'm just here to do a job. So leave me out of this.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, it's some definitely crazy experiences, friendships made, people lost. I lost one of my employees in Afghanistan, and happened to be there, firsthand to see all that and deal with all that stuff.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, it's the line of work. It happens. Totally different cultures. You go to some of these countries where, like dancing in public's illegal. You actually get arrested, or alcohol is completely illegal, but they got a million Starbucks. Like every corner's got a Starbucks. So it's, just totally different cultures on how things work.
So it sounds like a lot of perspective and maybe really helpful in terms of being grateful for all the liberties that we had, and
Yeah, I can't tell you that. That's why I never celebrate my birthday. It's just another day. I can't tell you how many birthdays and like Christmas and New Year's Eve. I'm in Kuwait and I'm getting a Whopper at Burger King at the drive-through by myself. I'm living by myself in Kuwait. It's just completely solo, and it's just another day. Birthday's just another day because I'm in some country and et cetera, et cetera. But that became normalcy for me, is being on my own, being overseas, which is why I got sent to so many of these places, because it's, hey, this guy's been there, done that. He's proven that he can do 6 months in country and then come out for 10 days and go back for another 6 months in these type of conditions. So it's kind of hard to land those gigs when, it costs a lot to get somebody processed to send them to another country, for them to get there for 4 days and say, screw this. There's no hot water and the internet sucks, and I'm going home. I miss my family. So it costs a lot of money for somebody to go up there and then dry up and quit 2 days later. So that's why I always got sent to all the best places.
what comes up for me when I'm hearing you talk about your background and I think your values and your approach to everyday life, I think that comes across in your channel, like your personality. People, right off the bat, people were engaging with your channel and your content and you as a creator so much. And, I think what I'm learning, is that a lot of this background kind of, and maybe your dad too, instilled these kind of values in you. And it really comes across, like when we met last night, it comes across right away. And I think that's a big part of what people engage with. Has that been your experience? Do you think that this kind of it's a good fit for what you're doing? I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. It's one of my pet peeves is meeting all these people in the space like that. Is one of my pet peeves is just be who you are. Don't. I've met several people in the space that are a completely different individual off camera than they are on the camera, and it's like it's not Hollywood. We're not playing a role. Just be yourself. So it's just but again, back to how I was raised. So it's just tell the truth. You always tell the truth. You don't ever have to worry about what lie you told to tell another lie because you forgot and get covered up and stuff like that. So you just be honest, be forthright with people, be upfront, be transparent. It's like Love Gamble Smart channel, great guys, and just be who you are.
It's really cool. Speaking of your professional background, are you done with that part of your life?
I am done with that, and my company was very, very supportive. So funny enough, I had just received a big promotion, and they asked me to take on a whole bunch of responsibility, and I said, okay, I'll do it, but I'm gonna work from home, and I will travel to all these sites and check on all my guys, and travel once a month type of deal. I'm not gonna work out of the home office, which was based in Texas, Sugar Land, Texas. Before I had started the YouTube channel, and they were like, yeah, but we can make that work. That sounds good. And so then I went to Tennessee and bought a place in Tennessee, which, doesn't have any casinos within 4 hours to me. And what I was doing is, I would go out to one of these project sites. We had NASA, we were a project manager for a NASA job down in Florida. And I would go down to Florida and deal with that site there and the people there. And then on the weekends, I would go play at a casino and I'd make some videos, throw them up on YouTube. And then the channel just exploded and took off, which was surprising to me. I never had any plans to do a YouTube channel. And then I would go to Louisiana and check on a site there. And then I would go play at LeBurge and make a couple videos. And so, yeah, my boss actually was, very supportive. He's like, hey, man, you need to get out of here and go do this full time. So we discussed it. And I was like, all right. So I put in my 2-week notice and here we are.
Was it scary or anything to tell?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably one of the scariest things I've done, because you're programmed, go to school, get an education, get a career. And then you're like, okay, we're not going to, I got a career and, I make very good money and I've got full health insurance and I got a 401k retirement and I got all this stuff. And, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to make the YouTube videos for a living now. It's all on your own. So yeah, that was one of the scariest things for me is making that step into the unknown and doing something else. So
how do you feel about the decision?
It was the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did your dad think about it?
Well, he was very nervous about it, but he would tell me all the time. It's like, I'm from the old school train of thought. He's like, so in the beginning, he's like, I think you messed up. So you may have messed up. So, but he's always, supported me from day one. So he's always been my hero. There's nobody out there that I could look up to or respect more than my father. But he realizes we, made the right decision, just having a blast. So he's retired and bought a place in Spain, and now he flies in for a couple months, and then I bring him to the casino with a replay and all that other stuff.
That's wicked. What was the experience of starting a channel and the growth that you had and the experiences that you had? How did that compare with what you expected, and what was it like to go through that?
I'll tell you, it was So it's funny enough how this all started was I was on a job in, I went out to a project in Columbus, Ohio, actually, I think, and to check up on my guys that work there. And so I took a bunch of my employees out to the casino after work on Friday night for a team building exercise. And because I like to play and gamble and get everybody together, and we could have drinks and we could play in a casino and all that. And it was one of my employees, and we were playing, and I can't remember. I think I hit 10 or 12 jackpots on slot machines, and his mind was just like, and he's like, man, you need to start a YouTube. He was a younger guy that I had hired, real techie, tech savvy generation. So I'm Gen X, so he's generation underneath me, and he's like, you need to start a YouTube channel and get this information out there and show other people, how to do this, because it was his first time in casino. He didn't know anything about slot machines, didn't know what to play, and it's all same flashing lights and sound to him. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, no problem. And I think I actually started on TikTok, and I threw a video up, and we hit a couple million views. And then I think I uploaded a video on YouTube, and it got monetized very quickly. And then I remember calling my best friend because we got monetized, and it sent me a thing, and it's like, you're getting 0.001 cent or something for every 1,000 views or something like that. I'm like, how does anybody ever make any money on this YouTube app? Like, you'd have to get several videos of over millions of views, and it's so hard to do. And I remember calling him, and he's like, I have no idea, because neither one of us knew anything about YouTube back in the day, and we were laughing about it. But as everything, it scales. So as everything you do in life, it scales up.
What have you learned through the experience of starting over the last 2 years, a little over 2 years or something at the channel?
Lots. Too much information to process sometimes. So I learned that still a YouTube noob. So I'm so thankful for Lucinda. So she was, a fan from the beginning, judo family, and I just was taking notes to her because she was so helpful. She was just seeing her constantly answering comments and helping people out and answering questions and this and that. And so we ended up talking. I said, hey, if this thing gets big enough, I'd like to bring you on, hire you full time. And that's where we are now. So she's my COO, Chief Operating Officer. So she handles everything. So sets up the meetings and deals with the travel and maintains my schedule. So she's my absolute right hand. She's couldn't replace her. Just the biggest part about it for me is that just helping other people, like the comments that we get from people like, you changed my life. And I don't know if I agree with that, but we get that a lot, that you've completely changed my life. Like, I don't know how we could change anybody's life gambling. I'm glad we could help you out and change your play style, and you're more successful at it. But just hearing people's excitement and posting in our judo family Facebook group, the pictures of their wins, like, look what we just hit, doing this. And, we just hit my very first handpay, which, we're thousands of those experiences. And I couldn't even tell you the number, but thousands of people at this point, we've hit our very first handpay after watching you. And, we played for 10 years, and that's what makes my day. Like, I can go play anytime. This is what I do. But I'd much rather watch other people win. The excitement from people winning their first big handpay. Like, I can't remember. I literally cannot remember my first jackpot. I get that question all the time. It's like, what was your biggest handpay? What was your first jackpot? Like, I literally cannot remember, guys. But living vicariously through all of them and getting to celebrate with those guys that they've hit their first handpay, or they're posting pictures of a grand jackpot, or like Patty that came out with us. And she told me it had been 6 years since she hit her first handpay. She spent 2 days with us in Vegas over the weekend, and now she's like 6 handpays in the last couple of months. And just getting to celebrate with all those experiences is what makes this whole thing worthwhile. And the connections. The community that we're building is so organic and strong. The judo family community is, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what we do with this.
Yeah.
Like that event we just did at Circa, where we won the install challenge up against a guy that had over 1 million subscribers, and Cowboy Slots, he was almost at 500,000, 500,000 subscribers, and we're nowhere near those guys' size, and we won the install challenge. So, because of the strength of our community and everybody showing up in force.
Like downloading the app that you're
Yeah. So, we had like a 15-minute challenge during that live stream.
So like to see that he can show.
Yeah, to see whose community could show up and show out, and get the most number of downloads. And like the judo family just absolutely crushed it. Came out of the woodwork. We put out the rallying war cry, and the judo family came through in force.
So how do you feel when you get that kind of support?
Just floored, man. It's just so surreal. I love meeting everybody for the first time. And like I said, never be scared to come up and say hi to me when I'm playing. I will always stop and talk to everybody. I love meeting everybody, but it's an absolute surreal experience. I'm very humbled. You still feel kind of like an imposter. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just like I'm just one of the regular guy. I'm just your average Joe. So I have signed 2 hats for people out there because how do you say no to somebody in person? But people ask me online, and I'm just like, no, I don't do that. I don't sign merchandise because it feels so pretentious. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not Brad Pitt or Hollywood. We're just regular guys that gamble and have a YouTube channel. So it's like I said, it's very, very surreal. But I love the community that we're building, the family community, and the connections that we've made. I mean, we've had people that have found their childhood best friend in the judo family. Be like, oh my gosh, are you such and such? And they're posting on Facebook and stuff like that. I'd be like, oh, and then scheduling and everybody else posting in the group for meetups and in our Discord and stuff. Like, hey, who's in the judo family is going to be playing at LeBurge this weekend, and then the guys will all get together and go play. So we're truly creating something incredible here. And it's a wild ride, and I'm so humble and excited to be a part of it.
You mentioned you say I'm not Brad Pitt. I'm just a regular guy. I think that's a big part of the appeal. You are, like you talked about before, being yourself. Platforms like YouTube are all about being yourself and people connecting with you and who you really are. In this context, over something that you guys share a passion for slots. So I just feel like that's the reason people want to engage with you. And
well, yeah, that's why it just makes me feel so like when somebody asks me to sign something, I feel so like cringe, like this is like very pretentious. Like, who am I to be signing something for somebody? You know what I mean? I'm just a gambler.
You mentioned that you, before coming here to Vegas for this show, you were at Foxwoods for Mr. Handpay's 1 million subscriber celebration. I mean, there's channels like Jason, like Vegas Matt, like other big channels that are sort of showing people what's really possible. And where do you think this is going for you? You said you're enjoying the ride, but
that's the best part of it. I have no idea. So, and that's the appeal and excitement of gambling. Like every spin is a brand new spin in the algorithm. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to get the bonus and how good the bonus is going to be. It's the unknown. That's what makes it exciting. Like, I have no idea. I went and watched, I went up there just for one day to support Jason in his $1 million live stream and watched that whole event live and how big it is with how many people he has on his team and the production and the stage and the balloons dropping from the ceiling. And I'm like, this is just, what a wild ride. And I can't picture anything like that for me at all. So I literally no idea. I'm excited to see how big our family community grows. That's the biggest part of, to me, is it's the community that we're building. So, I mean, I could care less on how big this is or how big that is or blah, blah, blah. Just, but I'm to see how big our family community can grow. And then, start doing some wild, really wild and out events.
Yeah.
With the judo family. Like, let's shut this town down. Let's all go here for a weekend.
Dude, there's nothing more fun than getting these groups of people together.
I'd have such a blast hanging out with you and Gals fun last night.
Yeah, man. It's a special thing. I don't know. I think people, in particular, like the viewers and the fans, they just don't have an outlet for connecting with people that share this passion for not just slots, but like the scene and
Yeah, it's a family community of people that enjoy doing the same thing as a hobby. I mean, this is a politics-free zone, a negative-free zone. Everybody's welcome. All opinions are welcome as long as you keep it respectful. There's just too much dividing us as a country right now. Turn the news off. Come join the Judo family and let's hang out and have fun. We had an absolute blast last night. But yeah, I can't wait to see what this turns into. Like I said, I'm looking forward to like just shutting down a town, like turn it up and we shut this place down. Look, we can't handle all you guys from the weekend. Like, hey, we warned you.
You got a WinStar, they're probably big enough for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
like
Well, I can't thank you enough for what you're bringing to the community with your content and with your channel, and for taking the time now, the second time, chatting with us on this show. We really appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
It's not like I was put out. We're in my room and at the show you came to me, so I really appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, always, man.
Best of luck.